Hey, what's up everyone? Long time no see. If you've seen my recent posts, I have been really sick. I'm just now getting better, so please excuse my voice. Like I said, I'm still getting better. It's a process. I'm glad that I have some type of energy now where I can get back to filming and reading sprints. But like I said, still healing. Still trying to get better. You could tell that I'm still congested and stuff, so please be patient with me. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started with this this January wrap up that I've been meaning to do for quite some time. So the first book one of the books I read in January was The Witcher, The Last Wish, which I really love. This is the illustrated edition, and I had a good time with it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book more than the TV show so far. I'm currently reading the second book right now with Iynu, the illustrated edition, and I'm enjoying it as well. I loved the differences. Like, I could tell the differences between the TV show and this book. It's hilarious. The Witcher, Dandelion, which in the TV series is known as Jaskier. So loved it. I don't know why I slept on this series. Like, I don't know why I'm just now reading it, but I'm happy that I just started it and I am enjoying it like tremendously. So yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I'm currently reading the second book with Iynu, something Destiny. Who knows? I have it like on my bed. But I am enjoying it, and if you haven't picked up the series yet, I suggest you do so. And if you don't know what motivated me to even start reading the series to begin with, is because I'm sure some of you know, if you are the Witcher, if you're, you know, the Witcher fan or whatever, that you know, we're no longer going to have Henry Cavill as The Witcher in the 4th season. The 4th season is going to be Liam Hemsworth. So that sort of was a bummer for me because I love Henry Cavill. He's just amazing, gorgeous, beautiful. Like, so it was just a letdown for me. So that's why I was like, okay, well, after the 3rd series, I'll just, you know, I'll read the series, the actual book instead. Maybe I'll get some, you know, some completion with that instead of watching the 4th season, even though I might still give Liam a chance. Who knows? But yeah, I love this, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the next book, which you've seen my review already, I'll leave it up above if you want to check it out, was Spare by Prince Harry. I don't have much to say about it. I didn't rate the book because it is a memoir. I do not rate memoirs at all because it's based off of someone's own life and their own experiences, and who am I to judge somebody off of their own experiences? Now, is there some things I find very questionable? Yes, but I'm not even gonna get into it. I did a long review on that book. Like I said, like, it was disappointing to me, but who knows? He has a 4-book deal or whatever, so who knows what may happen. I don't know, like, as of now, I don't know if I will read the second book that he has with the book deal, but who knows? I might change my mind. I might be curious to see what else he has to say about everything, so who knows? So yeah, I didn't rate the book, but if you want to check my review, it'll be up above. And so the 3rd book that I really enjoyed, I'm excited for the second one, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and that is Cameron Battle and the Hidden Kingdoms. This was such an amazing and it was just a beautiful book. A very beautiful, beautiful middle grade book that I'm so glad that I picked up. Bree from Bree Shree Reads, she's the one that really influenced me into reading this, and I'm glad that she did because she even enjoyed this book and I fell in love with it. I love the world building, the characters, every single ounce of this book I really enjoyed, and I'm definitely going to be reading more middle grade this year. I don't know why I've been slipping with my middle grades, but I definitely got to get into them a lot more this year, which I plan on doing so. But love this. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm looking forward to the second one because it's coming out real soon. I think, is it March that it comes out? I could be wrong. I got to check. But I really enjoy this. So if you haven't picked this book up, I suggest you do so because it's So good. So good. So yeah, definitely pick this one up. And then the next book that I read, which is a picture book. I did a review for this one as well, which I'll leave up above. That is You So Black. This is by Teresa the Songbird and illustrated by London Ladd. My daughter, like my sons, like my kids, they love this book wholeheartedly. We still read it now and again, even though I try to push them to read more things, but we still come back to this one, of course, because they really enjoyed it. They loved the pictures. They loved how it made them feel, and like literally they say they love my son, like my daughter, she always tells me this, but my son said he loves his blackness, and I was in tears because I'm like, yes, that's what I love to hear. And my son, he's 5 years old. So it was just, I feel like I'm doing something right as a parent. So I'm glad that my kids are loving themselves now. My youngest, my 2-year-old, he's talking, but I don't think he understands just yet. And my kids are starting to get the gist of everything and how they love themselves and love their skin, and they're comfortable with themselves. I absolutely love that. I wish there was somebody, you know, when I was growing up, for me, that had, you know, that was talking to me about how beautiful I am and stuff like that. I had to like find that out on my own, do trial, and it was just a lot growing up, especially when it came to my hair and a lot of that. And I'm just happy that I'm able to do, you know, teach my kids how beautiful and special they are inside and out. So this book was beautiful. If you have kids, nieces, nephews, godchildren, this is definitely a book that I highly recommend. And of course, my kids rated this, so we all gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So right here, You So Black by Teresa the Songbird and illustrated by London Ladd. And it's a beautiful, beautiful book. Definitely go get it if you can. The next two things I have here are comics. This is volume 1 and volume 2. This is Iynu, Child of Wonder, volume 1. And this is Iynu, Child of Wonder, volume 2. And I just love the world. Ashley from the Bookish Realm is what got me onto these. So she influenced me when it came to these comics, and I absolutely love this. It's a quest inspired by Yoruba and the Yoruba culture and myths, and I fell in love with this world. Like I read through them quickly, but I just love like the pictures and stuff, the illustrations, all like it was just beautifully done. I'm definitely am going to continue on reading this. I don't remember when the 3rd volume comes out, but when it comes out, I'm definitely going to be getting it. But I love both of these so much. Now for volume 1, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and then for volume 2, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. That was just needing a little bit extra with this one. But then when this came out, it gave me that extra what I wanted and what I needed. So it's a really good comic. If you haven't picked this book, like picked up the comic yet, I suggest you do so. This is by Roy Akumpe with Godwin Arkman. Hopefully I'm saying their names right. If not, I do apologize. I'm not that great with names. Please, I do apologize. But this is so beautiful. The world is beautiful. Iynu herself, everything is just amazing. So if you haven't picked this comic up, I suggest you do so. You still have time to catch up before the 3rd volume comes out. But yeah, I gave volume 1 4 out of 5 stars and volume 2 5 out of 5 stars. So we have Iynu, the Child of Wonder. This next book is a series or trilogy that I've been wanting to get to this year, and so far I finished the 2nd book. So right now this is the 1st book that I want to share with you what I read in January, and that is The Prison Healer. Excuse me, The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. And this was really good. I gave this I don't even remember, I believe, yep, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I was intrigued. This definitely reminded me of ACOTAR, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, the 1st book in the series, except the main character in this book her name is Kiva, and she is in a prison of Zollendorf, which is a prison of death. And she's like the healer of the prison, and then you have a random guy comes in named Jaren, and he's like a prisoner, so to speak. And you know, they have a connection with one another, but she also is trying to heal the rebel queen who is now at this prison. And right now she has to do these trial of ordeals, and if she doesn't pass one trial, she's dead or whatever. So it definitely had, like I said, it reminded me much of A Court of Thorns and Roses, which I think that's what attracted people into this book, particularly because of that. And it was really good. But once it got to the end, I was like, what? It was like one of those type of books where you become more intrigued when it's to the end and it reveals like a huge big reveal towards the end of a book. Like, I don't like that at all. I like my stories to progress within the pages, not the last like 20%. Like, no. So that's why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. But I am enjoying it. It's just needing a little bit more, but overall, like I said, I'm enjoying the concept of it. So yeah, I gave this, The Prison Healer, 3 out of 5 stars. And then the next book, these are picture books. One is The Grumpy Monkey Valentine Gross Out, which is right here, which my daughter read to all of us and my sons and whatnot. And my son was just so grossed out. Hence why the title says grossed out, because it deals with Valentines and kisses and stuff like that. It was really, really cute. Of course, my kids, well, not all of my kids, my daughter gave it 5 out of 5 stars, but my son, he gave it a 3 because he was so grossed out. But so we have, here's one of the other picture books is Grumpy Monkey Valentine Gross Out that we read. And then we also read, we have 2 more picture books. We read We Are Here and All Because You Matter. And we all agreed this was a 5 out of 5 stars. We really enjoyed this book about showing how everyone matters in this life, in this world, and you should not let anybody tell you anything different. You know, do not let anybody take away your joy. Don't let anybody tell you that no, you cannot do something, because you can. If you put your mind to do anything that you want, you can do it. You can succeed. You can succeed. You can achieve whatever you want and whatever you want to do with your life, or whatever endeavors that you want. You can make it happen for yourself. Don't let no one tell you that you can't do this, that if you don't do this, you will die. You won't do this. You won't amount to anything. And that's not true. And so we just love this book. And of course, like I said, we gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And the next one we read, I Too Am America. And this was a very great book. My kids had some questions about it, which is fine. I love when they have questions for me. I love to answer those questions. I like for my kids to produce questions. It's always good to have questions, to question everything. That's a natural thing. You should be able to question certain things, question, you know, people's actions, question the actions of America and how America was built, you know, how it was built and stuff like that. And this book was very, very insightful, and we appreciated it. We still read it. And my kids always have questions, but like I said, I love when they have questions. That means their minds are thinking. I'm stimulating their minds and having them have these, you know, where we start having these conversations with them. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. So of course, like I said, we gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for I Too Am America, because even though in America, we as Black people, they don't treat us as we're Americans. We are Americans because we built America. You know, like, we built the Capitol building, you know, we built everything, you know. So I wanted to let them know, like, you are American, and, you know, and don't let somebody tell you that you're not, and that you don't belong, because, you know, our ancestors didn't have a choice. They were brought here against their will. So now we are here, and this is our country, So don't let anybody say that we're not American, because we are America. Our ancestors built America. So yeah, like I said, my kids love this. They always have questions when we read this book, and I love it. So like I said, we gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And then the next book that I read was The Art of Prophecy. This was my book club pick for January. And I gave this, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I love, like, the main character, which I feel like she drove this book more than anything. And I love the aspect of it, like the prophecy, and then something else happens where it's like, wait, so the prophecy isn't the prophecy? Like, you know, like, so what's happening now? So we have that concept of it, but my favorite character is Tai Shi, which she's a wonderful and fantastic warrior who pretty much trains Jian, who is, according to the prophecy, he's supposed to kill the Eternal Khan, but that doesn't really happen. Somebody else kills you know, a person that's really not an expert in fighting just ends up killing the Eternal Khan, and they're trying to figure out how was that possible. So now they're like, oh, well, we don't need Jean anymore because the Eternal Khan is dead. So there's that whole thing with the prophecy, which this is the Art Saga. This is book 1. So book 2 is going to be coming out later this year. So I'm definitely going to pick it up to see how I feel about it. But yeah, this was a good time. It did have some dull moments, but who knows what the second book may have in store for us. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And of course, like I said, I gave this a 4 to 5 stars. And then the next book that I read was Delicious Monsters by Lascelles Sandberry. I had done a book review for this particularly, so I won't get too much into it. But of course, I gave this a 5 to 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It was definitely creepy, mysterious. It was very suspenseful. But I will let you know, like, if you don't get a chance to watch my review, there is some content warnings within this book itself. So just keep that in mind. When I say so, the content warnings is child sexual assault. It's in parentheses. This is off page, some details discussed, and this says childhood physical abuse, and in parentheses corporal punishment, off page and described, and this says childhood physical abuse, in parentheses confinement and punishment, childhood neglect, gaslighting, grooming, suicide, and then on parentheses off page mentioned, and then it says killing of a goat, which in parentheses it's off page and described, and it says discussions of fat phobia, body horror, gore, violence, and death. So just to have an open, like, keep that in mind if you do pick this book up, but I won't get into it that much. You'll have to watch my review if you want to get the gist of what it's about, which I'll leave up above. But like I said, I gave it a 5 to 5 stars for Delicious Monsters by Lascelles Sandberry. And then last but not least, I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm looking forward to reading the second book. We're following 2 different characters. One is Nahal, hopefully I'm saying her name right, and then Georgina. So this was just a fantastic book. And it's this is by an Egyptian American author, and I really love that too. And that is the Daughters of Ishtar. This is by Hadir El-Sabi. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. If not, I do apologize. But this was just really, really good. It's about talking about women's rights and stuff, and how women, they want to be able to do things without having a chaperone, without them saying they need to be married, and if you get married, your husband is in charge of you and tells you where you should go and where you should be, when you should be, and stuff like that. So I really loved the aspect of this book. Like, I loved it so much. I ordered a special edition of this book in particularly because I loved it. I enjoyed it wholeheartedly. I don't really have I don't have anything negative to say about this book because it's really good. And even it's even on the back it says book 1 of the Al-Maqsa duology. So we have another book, one more. And it says, from debut author Hadir El-Sabi comes a whole new world inspired by Egyptian history, following a spoiled aristocrat and a poor bookshop worker who unite to fight for women's rights with forbidden elemental magic. So that's another thing. There's elemental magic in this as well, which I really do love. So if you haven't read this book yet, which it's already out in the world, so you definitely can pick this up, I highly suggest you do so because it's really good. Has like a lot of fantasy in it. There is a little bit of romance in it as well. There's queer rep in it. It's just a lot in this book, and it's such a good time. So definitely pick it up. I highly recommend it. But that is it. Those are all the books that I read in January. I believe that's a total of what, 13? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 13 books. I read a total of 13 books in January. It's in February. I'm a little bit behind with my reading, but hopefully I'll catch up before the end of the month. But that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this this, you know, long time a wrap up that should have been up a couple weeks ago, but better late than never. But like I said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, everyone, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.